Right. Everything looks to be set. So, welcome everyone to the stream today. Today we're gonna do some 3D in Illustrator. We're gonna make just a little simple monogram in 3D. Of course, because we are in Illustrator, we're going to set this up with 2D shapes and text, right? I'm like at a loss for words here. Yeah, so let's go ahead and do this. So what I want to do is make sort of like a monogram on sort of like a plaque or something like that, you know? So to have this 3D monogram made out of, I don't know, metal material, some kind of material, and have it on sort of like a wooden plaque that you could sort of like hang up somewhere, you know? So that's the idea. So, and I've done similar things like this before on the stream, but you know, Adobe keeps making these tools in Illustrator better and better, so you just kind of have to go with it. All right. So how should I do this? Should I use my pen tool? Should I use... I'm gonna make the plaque first, I believe. And I could just make it with a rectangle. That might be the easiest way to do it. What do we want to do? Yeah, let's do a rectangle. So I am just gonna drag out a nice big fat rectangle right here. And we'll pull it in the sides a little bit, on the corners. And that should be pretty good. And we'll just have, I don't know if I'll do a 2-letter monogram or a 3-letter monogram. We'll see. But yeah, here's this in any case. So pretty basic, just a basic rectangle. And I'm gonna put it kind of like this sort of basic gray color too, maybe that color. Yeah, so K at 30. We'll have to remember that. I'm gonna take off my stroke. I don't want a stroke on there. And yeah, there we go. There's our initial stuff there. I'll create a new layer, rename this to plaque. And monogram for the new layer. And in this new layer, I'll add in my type. So feel free to chat in the chat. I do keep an eye on the chat during these, so yeah, please do say hello. Let me know what you're working on. If you've worked with Illustrator like this, it'd be interesting to hear your perspective on how they've changed these tools and updated them over the past year or so. Yeah, so now I got my type tool, and I gotta think what I want for typography here, right? Maybe I'll do my full 3-letter monogram, JRL, and take that up a bit. Myriad Pro, always Myriad Pro with these guys. Let's choose something else. So I want something that's going to be fairly pronounced. I'm using some Adobe fonts here that I've synced to my computer. And gosh, earlier today, I mean, today's still early, but this morning I was setting up a new MacBook that I have. It's a M2 Max, and the strangest thing, Photoshop would not install on the thing. Brand new MacBook. Photoshop just wouldn't install. And it was Photoshop 24.2, so what I had to do is I tried 24.1, and that installed just fine. And then I tried to update to 24.2, and it's like installation update failed. So there's something up with Photoshop 24.2 right now that I don't know if it's for everything or if it's just for M2 Max chips or what the deal is, but it's an issue. Hey Gareth, how are you today? I'm just looking for a nice typeface here. And you know, I might have to go to Adobe Fonts and, oh, you know what? Let's do this one. Strenuous Cast Regular. I was gonna just say, maybe I should go to Adobe Fonts and pick something out, but I got some ideas for this. I like how grungy it is, you know? It might be interesting to see how it looks in 3D. So yeah. Let's go up, I don't know, 122. Oh, we need to go much farther than that. Let's go 172. Or even, oh boy. Woo! That might do it. And what we're gonna need to do for this is, you know, we don't have to break it apart. And I could use like my touch type tool to sort of change some of these guys here, the spacing and position and so forth in relation to one another. But I think I'm gonna just kind of break it apart into shapes, just to keep it simple. Let's see, is there a quick action for that? Oh, look at that, create outlines. Convert the selected text to paths. Perfect. Hello, Pierre. Pierre Elaine, how are you? So create outlines and boom, and we got outlines. And if we look down here in our layers panel, sure enough, we've got a group of compound paths, right? So we are good to start doing stuff. We've got all our shapes. I mean, unless we actually wanted to, you know, modify this background rectangle a little bit more, but I'm kind of okay with it. Let's actually space these out a little. Let's ungroup it. Or no, let's not ungroup it, because then I'm going to want to deal with it as a group. Later on, I'll just select the individual pieces here and space them out a little bit more. Since I didn't do that with my type, I'll just do it manually here. And then we can select the group. And actually, let's select both these guys and just do a complete alignment to my selection. Make sure everything's nice and aligned properly. There we go. I've got some very hot tea here. I'm trying to cool it off. It's really nice because you know, it's kind of chilly today. Not that bad. It's been a lot worse this winter, but yeah, nice hot tea. So this is Republic of Tea, right? They've got the stringless tea bags. This is a ginger peach black tea. And I was drinking some green tea. I can't remember what the brand was. It was the bags with strings. And I'm out of my green tea. But I like both. I like green tea and black tea. We should do a tea-themed stream. Last week was an absinthe-themed stream because... was it Friday or Saturday? One of those two. Or was it Sunday? I can't remember. The 5th was National Absinthe Day. And actually, I released I released a brush on Behance of absinthe spoons. Let me bring it over here. I should mention that. This is actually the first time I went ahead and did something like this. Added an asset. So Behance has assets now that you can distribute through the platform, right? So this is a Photoshop brush. You can see the effect of it right here. And you can download the brush as well. So yeah, it's a fun little brush. It does a scattering of spoons. You can just download the ABR file and yeah, right here. And it's all good. So if you want to play with absinthe spoons, go for it. All right, so let's add some 3D to this. Actually, I guess it's fine. Visually, it looks a little off kilter to me, but that often happens. All right, so we don't have any of our 3D stuff open here. We can always go to effects and add 3D materials effects from here, right? Or we can go up to window and just open up 3D and materials as its own little window. So either way, you're gonna get access to 3D and materials. I'm gonna pop that up with my properties group here. Little panel management, right? And let's start our work. So we've got our plaque here. And what should I do? I guess I'll just do a basic extrusion here. I don't want to inflate and make it look like a balloon. I don't want to revolve and make it look like a weird lathe experiment, right? And a plane is just going to keep it as a plane, and then I can like switch it around in 3D space. I don't want that either. I want an extrusion. So there we go. I click on extrude, and depth actually looks pretty good at 50, but I don't want it to look exactly like this. For rotation, it's off-axis front. Let's see. What if we just do front? Yeah, so front right now looks like this. You can't really even tell. However, if I add in some things like a little bevel, and bevel's nice when you're doing a plaque, because lots of times a plaque, oh, you know, I've got a plaque right here. I think it's some bevel. Yeah. So I've got this. So this is a award that Adobe gave me back in 2010, right? Impact Award. If you look, I don't know if you can tell here, maybe I put it in my face. You know, it's got this nice bevel on the edges here, right? You can kind of see how that works. So pretty cool. It's an older award, but I'm still very, very pleased with it. So let's try to match that bevel. Maybe a step bevel. Gosh, some of this looks pretty wretched. Classic outline. No. Let's just go classic. I want this, dial that way back. Something like this. Now height, okay. It's like height of the bevel. See, it might help if I just temporarily change my preset to an off-axis. Oh gosh, not that one. Front? Yeah, let's just keep it like right there for now. And I'll hide my letter forms so that I can see better exactly what's happening to this this bevel here. Hello, Michael. How are you? How's it going? Perspective. Oh, that's fun. Thanks. Okay, so let's play with the bevel here. So height. So you can see height of the bevel actually is the height of the part, sort of the center part of the bevel, right? So I don't want it to be too crazy. And let's play with something else. Let's go with convex. Yeah, that's more what I'm looking for, right? Yeah. So we'll do some convex bevel. take the height down quite a bit. The width of the bevel, something like that looks good. Trying to kind of emulate, you know, what I've got going on with that plaque I just showed, right? So let's take that down a bit to 30. And yeah, that's what I'm going for right there. Very good. Okay, so now that I've got that guy set, his 3D properties are looking proper. So let's go ahead and go off to our materials and let's find some suitable material. Now, this is going to be wood. So I assume that part of the substance collection that comes with this panel has some sort of wood, right? Let's give it a look. And is there a search? No, I don't think there is a search. So what do we have here? And you know, even if we don't get wood inside of here, we can always get it from Substance 3D Assets or Community Assets. Those two buttons right there allow us to locate more substance materials and add them to our Illustrator panel. But smooth laced trowel stucco. No, I want wood. Plywood, no. Reconstituted wood. Chestnut wood. Chestnut might be nice. Let's go with chestnut. Yes. Okay, I do want to darken it a bit, but that's looking pretty nice. And let's turn on our ray tracing here so it looks a bit more realistic. Get a better idea of what we're going for. And warning, sometimes when I'm streaming and I turn on ray tracing for some of these things, sometimes bogs the stream down. It takes my frame rate way down, so it looks like I'm stuttering. So if that does happen, that is why. Here we go. Down below in my properties here, we've got our wood color. I want this to be a richer color. And maybe even a little more red. Ooh, that's pretty nice. Color variation slider. Put some darker areas. Veins contrast. Take those veins down a bit. Wood roughness. That's fine. All right, cut. See, this is what's so cool about Substance 3D materials, whether you're using them in Illustrator or Stager or Dimension or wherever. You've got all these specific properties for the material you're looking at, you know? So you can see here, I've got a cut property. So I can change this from crown, which it is right now, to plane, rift, or live. Let's start at the top. Plane, rift. Yeah, check that out. Live. Ooh, interesting. I don't know what I like best for this. Rift is just a little bit. Let's go with plane, I suppose. We want more or less knots. Yeah, there we go. We added some more knots in there. I think I want less knots. I don't want this to be very knotty. And you'll notice there are scrapes here too, so there should be, I imagine, something to control that as well. Scratches, here we go. Scratches intensity, let's take that down. I want this to look awesome. I don't want it to look all scratched up, you know? I wonder if I can increase like the waxiness of it. Saturation is 0.5 right now. Oh yeah. Let's increase that saturation a bit. Oh, here we go. Increase that contrast. Luminosity, let's see what this does. Oh, it makes it look awful. That's great. Actually, I'll take that down a little bit. Let's make it like dark. That's pretty good. All right. So let's go ahead and toggle back our ray tracing again. Just see how it looks. I tend to just kind of turn that on and off as I need to, you know? So look at that. That looks pretty good. That's a fairly realistic piece of wood right there. Let's turn that back off and go to our lighting. Actually, maybe I don't want to go to lighting yet, because maybe I should actually do the monogram part first. So yeah, let's not go to lighting just yet. And actually, let's put this back on its face. So my extrusion. Hello. Extrusion. Custom rotation. No, I just want a front rotation. And you can see now, because I've got that nice bevel with the material and everything, it actually looks more realistic, like a little plaque. So let's go ahead and toggle our monogram back on. There we go. So our monogram is on. Looks a little... We need to offset that a little bit. There we go. All right, so here, same kind of deal, right? So plane, extrude. I'm going to do probably another extrusion here. And there we go again. It's like, come on, man. We don't need that. I'm going to take this down. I want this to be very thin. So something like 12, 10, right? I don't want to bevel this at all. So just twirl that down, get it out of the way. And let's put this just straight up front, because that's how it's going to be. Right? And you can't really tell right now with the monogram. And actually, I've got this thing set in my properties. Fill is black. Let's change this to kind of a light color. And then when we jump into materials, let's find something metallic. Steel tread. Oh, that's ugly. Nice. Yeah, that's not cool. Gold leaf. Oh, soft hammered aluminum. That's kind of fun. Brass. I think brass is what we're going for here. And that looks friggin' awful right there. Let's see if it looks any better in our real-time preview with the ray tracing on. Not really. You know, this might just be my lighting right here that is causing some issues with being so bright. Let's have a look at our materials properties down here. Color variation. Yeah, let's see what that does. Nice. Repetition. Sure. Brass roughness. I don't want it too rough. Oh, gosh. Dirt. I don't want it too dirty. Aging. Let's age the brass. Oxidation. See, this is the cool stuff, man. Oxidation levels on our brass. Aging on our brass. Scratches. Now here, for the brass, maybe we want some more scratches. Like, I didn't really want scratches for my plaque, but the brass, perhaps, you know, that might make sense. And die cast filter. Nice. Put the grain intensity up. Take the roughness up a little bit. Luminosity. So here we go. I want to make this shinier, lighter, or darker. Contrast. All right. So it looks like there's actually no way to adjust the base color of this particular material, but that's okay. Let's go back up to our object. and freeform rotate. All right, so that's what we got going on there. So it's there. You know, let's round the edges a little bit. I know I was saying, like, I don't really feel like doing any bevel on there, but I think it might kind of need it. Let's just make a round edge bevel. Very good. Just slightly, you know? Yeah, I mean, I want this thing to look kind of worn and corroded, right? All right, cool. That's pretty good. Let's go back down here and custom rotation. No, we're gonna do front. Here we go. So, you know, part of me is like, why would it look like that? I'm thinking, I'm changing my mind around what we're doing here. And it's too bad because I've already gone through and rendered all these as outlines, right? You know what? I'll keep it. I'm going to keep going with what I have because, yeah, I think that's good. Well, here we go. Let's go ahead and I'm going to add a new layer. And actually, I should have done this in the first place. I'm going to just call, well, yeah, let's delete that. There is such a thing as too many layers, right? There we go. I got my monogram layer. I've got this group. And actually, I don't want that in the group of letters. Nope. Buddy. There we go. Group above, rectangle below, and monogram right here. So let's see. Yeah, so that looks terrible, right? What we need to do I want my rotation. I want to actually change my Y properties here. Pull that down. No, this is rotation. Oh, so there is no, This is what's tricky, like working in Illustrator versus working in something like Stager, right? Like the way it's rendering this, you know, it's rendering it as though, like it's still working with Illustrator layers, right? So what we really need to do is work with these limitations, right? If we were inside of something like Substance 3D Stager, we would be able to, you know, have things interact with one another. It's a true 3D space, right? Inside of Illustrator, the issue that we're having here, while you see like everything showing up above everything else, is because, of course, we still have to deal with Illustrator's layer system. So like straight on, it looks great, but when you're like at an angle like this, it looks like things are just floating there. And I can see my screen glitching out. So let's turn that off. So what we're gonna do instead is we are going to go through and change the height of our bevel. Oh, no, the height of the bevel's fine. We'll change the height of our actual, or the depth rather, of our little guy here. Let's say 10. What does 10 look like? Did it do both of them? Yeah, it did. I've got both of these selected. Oops. It changed the depth of my little... Here, let's set this to 8. That's pretty good. That's a nice... It looks like, you know, metal that's just like a little, like thin metal pieces. Okay. Let's select this guy in particular. Yeah, only the rectangle is selected. And we want to take that depth back up because we want the plaque to be nice and fat. 45, 50, something like that. And then we need to decide the whole darn thing how we want this to look. So what I'm going to do for this rendering is I've got the entire layer selected, so both objects, 2 objects. And what we're going to do, well, you know what? I can just use the freeform rotate, right? Oh, man. Ugh. It's still a little tricky, you know? What am I trying to say? Not tricky. A little weird. You know, maybe changing this perspective would do some good too. Yeah, there we go. There we go. All right. So now that I got this guy here, I need to select, and let's actually lock our plaque, select our letter forms, and just reposition them here across the plaque. So it looks sort of natural. Cool. And another thing I want to do is actually add a background layer. So an actual background to all of this. So there we go. And maybe a gradient, right? Gradients are fun. So I want to add a nice little gradient here, and let's just switch him out to this right now. Oh, I need a... You know, one of the worst things when you're working with this software all the time, and so many different pieces of software, so many very different pieces of software, is that, for me, is that just some of the tools work so differently between different applications, you know? Actually, let's just throw material on this guy. Just a basic material. Fine leather. Oh, doesn't that look nice? Yeah, now we're classy. Look at that. Beautiful. All right. There we are. We can lock that and just call it leather. And yeah, we're going good. This is looking pretty nice. So here we go. We've got our, what else do we need to do? Lighting is what we need to do. So let's choose monogram, choose lighting. And actually this is a new thing inside of Illustrator. I don't know if everybody has seen it yet, but I guess this version came out like last week. They did an update to this panel. You used to only have one light, so you could have a single light source. Now you can add as many lights as you want to your Illustrator rendering, which is really cool. So I want to play with some lighting here. What do we got right here? Or just the standard light, right? So as I move this around, we can see how the light is cast on this sort of like 3D dome here. So something like that looks pretty good. I do want shadows. Absolutely. Turn on my shadows. Sick. It's much better. And, oh gosh. So that's casting shadows, of course. Oh, and I've got that locked, so that's not great. My goodness. So I have to turn on shadows for that bad boy, too. And assuming, is this a, so here's something to wonder. Is this a global light? No, it's not. Oh boy. So we've got a different light on each of these now. That's okay, I can approximate. That looks pretty good. Actually, this is coming out pretty cool. I am enjoying this. I enjoyed last week's stream and this one. So maybe I'm starting to feel a little better about these things. 6 and 8 really don't have much of a difference, I guess. All right. And you know, now I'm thinking like, let's go back to our rectangle. I took all those scratches out. But gosh, if we're going for, you know, this kind of look, then we might as well put them back in. Where's my scratches? Scratches, intensity. There we go. There's some scratchy scratches. That's pretty good. Just gives it that other look, you know? Having like a little bit of scratchiness in there. Right on. And then for our render settings here, of course, if I turn on ray tracing, high, remember to apply to all, and actually, let's see if it does apply it to all. It's just so tricky, like knowing, especially with something so new, like the thing with the global lights. It's like, are there global lights inside of here? I don't know. My tea's getting cold. Ooh. It's coming out pretty good, though. We'll just wait for this to finish rendering. I'll check my email in the meantime. I can see as it's rendering that my Zoom is getting all Zoom. This isn't Zoom. My feed, my video feed is getting very choppy. And now I'm getting messages from Behance that I have a poor network connection. Well, that's because, right? Because I actually have. Actually, I'm getting a message from OBS encoding overload, which is fun. That is an interesting message to see. All right, this guy's almost done rendering. Oh man, it is taking some time, isn't it? Maybe I shouldn't have told it like high quality and everything. So while this is rendering, there hasn't been much chatter in a bit. I'm just talking to myself here. How are you all? Do you all also have cold tea? Cold coffee? I don't like cold tea or cold coffee. I like my coffee hot and I like my tea hot. Illustrator. Sometimes if something's taking a very long time, and I'm sure other people do this too, I put my cursor like right at the edge of the little loading bar, just to see, like, is it actually moving or not? Just kind of marking my place, you know? Hello, Fidel. Hello, Omicorn? Am I saying that right? I'm probably sorry. Apologies. But welcome to you both, and hello. Oh, it finished. Look at that. Thank you. Thank you for finishing. Let's lock everything down. That looks pretty good. I'm very happy with this. Maybe I'll render this out to, or save it as a, we already rendered it, right? Let's export as. And we'll just export it as monogram.png. Use artboards. Yeah, let's use artboards. Export. Background color does not need to be transparent. We'll just render that as black. Resolution, let's go high, because gosh. I mean, really, 72 ppi. Illustrator. Oh, I did. I said it almost right. That's perfect. It's great. Yeah, my last name is Lebrec, but it gets completely like butchered by a lot of people. So I try to pronounce others' names correctly, but at least I admit, you know. All right, so here we go. I'm gonna save that PNG, and I'll put this right on Behance afterwards, because it actually came out pretty good. It's sort of amazing that you can do this inside of Adobe Illustrator, you know, which usually you're thinking of like 2D graphics and very like simple shapes and everything, but yeah, so there's the PNG right there. Pretty sick. Shadows are pretty good. They're a bit severe, but that's okay. Well, perfect. I guess that is the end of the stream then, because, you know, we're done. All right, cool. Well, thanks everyone for joining today. It's always fun. I do try to keep these under an hour, which I have done today, so perfect. I'm trying to think. I don't know what I'm doing next week. I don't have it planned that far out right now. But again, thanks everyone for joining live, and those who are watching the replay. You are also appreciated. And yeah, I really enjoy doing this stuff, so I hope that you all have fun with it as well. Okay, long goodbyes are never fun. So, see you all later.